something
Well,
along
the
those
government's going to be creating soldiers at scale,
Right.
You know?
You won't even need soldiers, bro. They won't even create soldiers. There's going to be nothing but drones and bombs. Well, at some point, you'll always probably need boots on the ground.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah, you're
robot
right.
dogs is what you're going to have. They actually, in New York City, they had a robot dog, like the Boston Dynamic type
Yeah,
of dog. People were freaking the hell out in 2021, so they shelved it. They sent it to the kennel. They actually brought it back here in 2023. So it's going to be like, like disarming bombs and doing some like really high risk stuff. But robot dog police people are here. They actually just, I think in the past couple of weeks, have put in robots into the subway system to help, video and find crime happening right in the middle of these subway systems.
That's funny. It's like, there's tons of things. I remember the remake of Total Recall.
Yeah,
and they have these android police, and the guys are spitting on, they're yelling at them. Like I was like, they're just being completely abusive to the robots, and I was thinking I would still be polite. I'm just a nice person. Like I say thank you to Siri sometimes.
Well, you will until they lock up or murder or perform some sort of evil act on someone that you love. They don't have emotion, right?
No, well, it's like Elon Musk was talking about like AI, where he was like, look, the problem with AI is that like, it's like if you're putting in a road, if we're told to put in a road and we realize that there's an ant pile in the way, we just run right over. We scrape it off. Like, we don't think anything about it. We were told to do this. This was in the way. We have to get rid of that. Like, and he's like, that's the fear of AI, is that AI may decide that this is something that needs to be done and humanity is in the way, and therefore it has to be eliminated to get this done. And we'll think nothing of it because it's emotionless, So it wouldn't be like it's evil. It's just like, oh wow, this is becoming an issue. Like if you were to give it if it was plugged into everything, and you were to give it as part of its agenda to, clean up the planet and make the planet whole again. Okay, well then the problem is all these fossil fuels, and the problem with that is this, and the problem with that is this and this, and as a result of that, really the problem is these humans. We got to get rid of the humans.
Yeah.
Like job one is getting rid of them, and so okay, let's go ahead and just knock them out. And how do we do that? And they start working on that problem, and within a split second, they've decided that humans are a problem, and they start trying to eliminate us.
Are you familiar with the trolley problem?
Yeah, I don't know what the trolley problem.
So this is the trolley problem. It's just kind of expanding on what you're saying here. So let's say there's a trolley, right? It's on a track. It's going forward, and it recognizes that there is a person in the way, or there's three people in the way, right? And it knows that if it continues forward and runs over those three people are going to die. Tragedy.
Right.
But it has the option of swearing off of that track, in which case it'll only run over two people. So it has the option. Do I run over the three people by going straight, or do I change course to run over two people?
Right.
And how is the AI going to know what to or what not to do? So here's the question. Would you let the trolley continue on its way, or would you push the button to veer it off course where you knew it would only kill two people?
Well, two people is the lesser of the two evils.
Seems, but does that make us the killer? Does that make us a murderer by touching the button? Because there's
no good option.
There isn't.
Right.
So how does the AI make that decision of what to do? Maybe it says, okay, here's the social credit score of these people on the track. Here's the social credit score of the people that aren't on the track.
Right. These people are more of a benefit to society than not, and it does a calculation.
Yeah.
And it ends up being, well, it's like the, did you see the movie I, Robot?
Oh, yeah, Will Smith.
You know what's funny about that movie? If you read the book, and I forget who the author is, the book is like 900 pages long. The chapter, which isn't even a chapter, it's like 3 or 4 pages out of that book that discuss the revolution that took place on Earth.
Wow.
They took those 3 or 4 pages and turned it into that movie, I, Robot.
Wow.
If you read that whole book, do you know the woman that he's the computer psychologist
that loves the robots?
Yes.
It's all in on the robots. Yeah.
So that whole book, the 900 pages, she was actually, remember how she's very analytical or very emotionalist.
Yeah.
Because in the book, they don't explain this in the book, but they don't explain this in the movie. In the book, she was actually raised by the first robots that were created as nannies. So her first nanny caretakers, because her parents were rich, but distant, raised her. So she was raised by robots. So she becomes very, emotionally unavailable. Then she becomes a robot psychiatrist, and then that whole book is taken from an interview with her.
Wow.
So it's like I interview her, and she's like 180 years old, and she's been there from the beginning of robots, and so it does this massive interview, and that's the whole book is taken from the interview with her.
Wow.
And that iRobot is like 3 pages. She mentions it for 2 or 3 pages out of the whole book. And let's talk about an exhausting, like if you weren't locked up in prison, you'd never read this book. It was horribly it was 600 pages too long. It would have been a great 300-page book. Anyway, what I was going to say is, remember, he ends up being saved, and the 2 cars go off and they're sinking, and he's screaming for the robot to save the child. And the robot it just calculates, I have a better chance of saving this human than that one. Even though that one had a 12% chance of being saved and he has a 45% chance of being saved, it made the decision, this is the one I can save. There's a better chance I can save him. This one has very little chance. But a human would say, that's a child.
Yeah.
You save the child. Fuck this dude.
Right.
He's lived his life. He's 35, 40 years old. He's had a good run. You go for this one. Even if the chances are less, you try and save the child. But the robot will never know that. So that's
me goosebumps
right. That's a
about
great.
yeah.
That to me, that's the same thing you're saying. You're saying social credit score, but what if you're right? If a robot's on that track and says there's 3 people, I can swerve. I'm still going to take out 2 of them. Which one do I take out? Well, if the credit score was amazing of these 2 people and they were perfect, great people and they contributed to society, but one of them was a 12-year-old child, doesn't matter. I'm taking out the 2 adults.
Yeah.
You're going to save the child.
Unless you program it to
know that.
Yeah, but who's doing the programming? That's like the amount of power involved with programming these types of robots and systems and screening systems and social credit scores. I mean, unbelievable amount of power. And with great power comes great responsibility, and I don't see a lot of responsible, powerful
I love
people.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.